Welcome to another episode of the Forgotten Athlete podcast. I'm here as your host, and we got Zach back. Zach is back in action. Uh,
I'm
he's
back.
been he's been a busy man. Obviously, Chiefs have been winning, so yeah, he's been golden in spirit. But how you been, Zach? How's everything going for you?
Man, things have been awesome. Haven't had a losing week yet in for the Chiefs. Um, things are going well, away from football. So yeah, everything's going well. How about you, man?
Can't complain. Cannot complain. Well, I can. Niners just lost 3 and 4, but I mean, at least we're not the Patriots, you know. Um, And we can start there. Patriots and Jaguars. Do you want to start there, or do you want to start Thursday night maybe? Um, who played Thursday night?
You want
Can
to
you
Thursday? That was such a
Broncos
long time
Broncos
ago.
Saints
I don't.
Broncos Saints Broncos
That's
Saints? Yeah.
right. The Broncos just
Uh,
destroyed the Saints.
we're not gonna talk about that though.
That's right.
Let's let's just start talking. I mean, we'll get into I guess a rhythm, but like I just watched the Chiefs and Niners game, and I got a few things to say about the Chiefs. Um, the Chiefs are just way more physical than everybody else in the NFL. Like they just overpower their opponents, and it's crazy because Andy Reid was never like this in his 20, 30-year coaching career.
Mm.
You know, granted, I'm just talking about these past. I would say ever since Terry Kill left, he has became a power run first defensive team, and obviously Mahomes gets a lot of the credit, but their coaching is just really good. I was watching them on the sidelines, and like even after Kareem Hunt was ran the ball for a touchdown, like he was still getting coached
Yeah.
by by one of the position coaches, and it's just like
Yeah.
you don't see that a lot in the NFL anymore. And I was watching the Packers today. Packers, Matt LaFleur, him and his staff, they do something similar where they're always coaching their players up. But then you have other situations where teams are just like coaches are just like player will make a bad decision, coach will just rip them, and there's no coaching being done. Like we saw what happened with Will Levis and Callahan 2 weeks ago. Like he's just like ripping them, and obviously coaching is probably being done behind the scenes, but publicly on the game during the game, like are you coaching your players during the game? And
Yeah.
it just really, I just thought that was a really cool observation. Just watching them, like Stag Steve Spagnuolo is always talking to his defensive players on the sideline, like all the time. Like he's never it's either him or a position coach on his staff that's talking to the defensive players. So I just noticed that while I was watching the game, and I've noticed it before, but I've never really spoke on it just because I felt like it was normal, but it's not. Like you have to coach your players. All because they're in the NFL doesn't mean that they don't need to be coached, right? Um, so I don't know. I just wanted to say that because it was a
Well,
disaster
I
today.
mean, to your point, I think the Chiefs do have a coaching advantage at really all levels, right? Their offensive coordinator, head coach Andy Reid, we're familiar with what he can do, with the Eagles and with the Chiefs pre-Mahomes, even, turning that franchise around. He's a phenomenal coach offensively. Um, and then you go to the defensive side of the ball, they probably have the best defensive coordinator in the entire league right now. If you want to throw Flores up there, that's totally fine. It's debatable, at least, that Spagnola can, put together a game plan and stop everyone. During the game, they showed uh, that the Chiefs' rushing defense is like really elite, and it's really interesting that they're able to do that. Given when you game plan against the Chiefs, I don't know, you want to run the ball and try to keep the ball away from Mahomes and you're unable to do so with this team. And I find that really, really special, given that teams want to go in and run the ball and you can't. And it's not like they haven't faced elite running backs. Like they faced Derrick Henry. I know it was early on before he got going, but still, he only had 40
Yeah,
something yards. Kamara was in there. They played a bunch of teams that want to run the ball and they're unable to do so. I think there is an issue. I mean, we don't want to make this entire episode about the Chiefs, so you can stop me at any point. But offensively, I think there are some glaring issues. Given that I was thinking about it today, they rotated the entire receiving core this year, and the guys that they were expecting to produce, they're all injured.
Yeah,
So really, it's
Hollywood
like,
Brown, even Xavier Worthy was.
yeah,
I mean, I felt that deep shot, that first play of the second half, I felt like he was not running full
yeah.
speed. I don't think he was at least. I think that should have been a touchdown. If that was Tyreek Hill, that's a touchdown. That's how I'm
Well, I
looking
mean,
at it.
well, I guess to that point, right? I think I was thinking about today. I was like, why hasn't Mahomes been playing that great in the regular season? But his receiving targets, I mean, he can't play. He's won the last two Super Bowls, right? Kelsey's
Yeah,
one of the best tight ends ever, but he's on the way down. Like, I'm not. It's not disrespectful to say Travis Kelsey. He'll be there playoff time, but to
yeah, he's conservative
17
stuff
games,
though.
you
I
can't
think.
count on him,
Yeah,
right? Yeah. But then the receivers, there's if you look at like the great receivers in the league, sorry, the great quarterbacks over the course of time, right? They've all had weapons. And I'm like, there's nobody on the Chiefs offensively that can scare
but
you in
you're
the
scared
regular
of.
season.
Yeah,
Playoff time, Kelsey's a monster, but
yeah.
Xavier Worthy, he's a nice gadget player. You see, they have to get him going off of the reverses a lot of the time because I mean, I don't know, he's not strong enough probably like to
I mean,
to go against DBs at this level. So you saw a lot of Noah Gray today, which I'm like, okay, so Noah Gray is going to be this pass catcher. I mean, it's just,
I
but you
mean,
see, I don't know. That's the only
they
worry
just
that the wide
yeah.
receiver, they're going to, in my opinion, they got to do something. I don't know. Go get
Juju went
DeAndre
out
Hopkins
too.
or something
Yeah,
for the low. Do something. Like they can't go into it with, unless you got good news on Hollywood, and
I exactly,
I feel like you
exactly.
got to do something.
I don't think Chiefs need to do anything. I mean, this team is.
Are you are you saying that because they're so much better than everyone, or the league is
I just
just down? Because I
I just
like
think that I think the league is down, and I don't think anyone is
okay,
gonna
yeah, I can see
is
that.
gonna win. Is gonna be more physical than the Chiefs are. Like they're just not. Like the Chiefs are physical. Like
Yeah,
Mahomes was trucking one of the hardest hitting
yeah.
safeties in the
He
league,
Mustafa today. Yeah, yeah.
and it's just like and they were I don't know what they were averaging per yard. I guess I can look it up, or one of us can look it up, but
No, I didn't
I
check
would
the
guess
stats. I just watched the
I
game.
would guess
Yeah,
it's between 5 to 6 yards they were averaging per carry. Like I'm gonna look it up right now, but I'm pretty sure it was at least 5 yards a carry they were averaging on McGray, and it
now
was
given
constant. They could have ran
I
the
do
ball
want to.
every single play, and they did
I
run the
think you
ball every
should
single play
point out though,
in the fourth
Joseph,
quarter.
that we should point out the fact that Joseph, like the Niners weren't fully equipped today. Like they were without McCaffrey, which is a huge loss. They were without Debo Samuel, which is a huge loss. Ayuk ended up getting hurt in the game, so like there was a lot of pieces missing. And I do think on the optimistic side for the Niners, I think Brock Purdy continues to show you that he can. Because we used to think
Yeah, that loss
like
was not
just a
on
year
Brock.
ago that he was, yeah, like he was just a product of the pieces, but you're finding out, okay, this guy, they may have helped him to get to, play early on, but now he looks like an actual quarterback. Like you're actually like, okay, cool, you can go in and like you're not worried about him like you were with Jimmy Garoppolo when he was the
Yeah,
quarterback a few years ago, even with all the weapons.
yeah. I mean, Purdy's been
So,
doing this all season without really production from Ayuk. And Debo he's had two or three good
yeah,
games. He still
Jennings
has
wasn't
the
there
same.
today.
But Purdy's been doing this pretty much all year without his star players. Obviously, McCaffrey's gone too, so that takes about two chunk. And defenses are you can see that he's doing a lot more free like freestyling because defenses are taking away his first option or his first read every single time.
Yeah,
Like and like Purdy last
and
year.
that
Um,
check down
yeah,
gone.
it's gone. It's gone.
McCaffrey could take
But I
a
was gonna
swing
say,
pass and go for 20. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure last year. I'm pretty sure last year and the year before, Purdy had been getting the ball out the quickest out of any NFL quarterback, and that's not happening right now. And it's mainly due to obviously I think McCaffrey not being there, but defenses are not scared of Jordan Mason. They're just not. I mean, Jordan Mason he is productive. He does. get the ball up the field. He does get first downs. He can give you those long 20, 30-yard runs, here and there. But McCaffrey is a triple threat running back, meaning that he can pass block, he can catch the ball at the backfield, and he can run the ball down your throat. And Jordan Mason is not really offering that. Like Jordan Mason lost the game, you know, a few weeks ago against the Cardinals when he missed a block and Purdy had a rush to throw and ended up being an interception. Like Jordan Mason has been really good this year, but he is not McCaffrey, and McCaffrey needs to be there. Like he just needs to be there for this team to be a Super Bowl team. Like, and that's not a bad thing to say. He's their best player on offense. You know, like that's not bad to say. By the way, I'll check the numbers. Chiefs averaged 4.7 yards a carry today.
There you go, almost 5 yards a carry. So yeah,
So I mean,
yeah, that's
it
just not
looked
good
like
enough
it,
for the
and
Niners defense.
they almost had 200 yards. But Niners defense needs to step it up though, and they did step it up in the second half. They look really good, but um, they got to figure out what they need to do. Like if they like the one thing I like about the Chiefs is that they, and I don't want to spend the whole time talking about the Chiefs. This is the last thing we'll say is that the Chiefs will play
Sure.
man all game, even when they blitz. They're playing man, and like they have an identity, right? And and that's where we go. Obviously, we had a lot of blowouts today. And then we also had the Deshaun Watson injury. You want to start there? Maybe we can go to there. Start
Yeah, I
give
mean,
me some
I
seconds.
think this this is going to sound really bad. But I have to say, I have to be honest with America. I
Mm-hmm.
think the Cleveland Browns are very excited that he tore his Achilles today. I they couldn't bench him because of the dollars. Like they were paying him too much money, so they couldn't bench him. But when he got hurt today, I think secretly there was a piece of ownership, the GM, the head coach, the players. I think they were like, "Oh man, Watson is hurt. Oh man." It wasn't like, when Dak like got hurt a couple years ago and how the entire team went out there. Both teams, remember, both teams went out there and they were like, "Oh,
Yeah.
this is super sad." It was nothing like that. Those players were like, "Next play." You saw the backup quarterback immediately start warming up. I said, "Wow!" I said, "These guys are
Yeah,
just
that was crazy.
like."
He was ready. He
I,
was.
I don't
Hey,
know.
DTR was ready, man. That dude was ready to go. I respect it, but at the same time, I'm like, dang,
Even and then
you were just waiting to
so
get. And then watching the game, I watching the game. Sorry, I just want to. I watched the game.
no, you're good. You're
I guess
good.
Ken Dorsey had told him to like be ready, like be ready. And then
Wow.
DTR was telling his teammates, "Hey guys, I feel something happening. I feel something happening." And then Watson gets hurt. This is not last matter, obviously. I mean, I
If there's,
there,
I'm saying, if there's a
if it,
quarterback in the NFL
yeah,
that you're like,
yeah, that's what I was
oh,
gonna say. That's
like
what I was
that
gonna say.
should be a punchline,
It's this
is
guy.
is
It is.
Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Let's be
I mean,
real. Like he's somebody
I don't
who
think.
he not only fooled the Browns into paying him a bunch of money and he hasn't earned it. He just acts like he doesn't care. He's like Jay Cutler. Like,
And he has never
it's
taken
like it's
accountability for his
disgusting.
actions that that
Never.
that 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 he was accused of done.
Never. He's
It doesn't
terrible
matter.
off the field and on the
Yeah,
field. It's
but
ridiculous.
I will say this: I don't. There's a lot of media criticism going on, and we'll probably see it tomorrow more of like his teammates speaking on his character because the Browns fans did boo Deshaun Watson once
They
he
booed him.
as
They
he was losing
booed
the
him when
field.
they entered. They
I
booed
don't
him, and I
I don't think
was
that
like,
I don't think the Browns.
this is
I don't
bad."
think the Browns teammates. I don't think Miles Garrett, Jameis Winston should be criticized for being leaders of that team and speaking up for one of their teammates. Granted, Deshaun Watson is a piece of crap. Like we know that the
Wait,
media system know that.
What are you talking about? What are you alluding to? Because
So
I have no clue.
so Winston came out and after the game they had asked him about the Deshaun Watson injury, and Winston pretty much criticized the whole Cleveland Browns fan base. I'm not quoting him directly, but pretty much he said that it was shameful for what they did and it was wrong. And I've known Deshaun Watson. He's worked hard. He's done everything for this city. He's put his body on the line
They have
for
to
this
say
city.
that.
Like these are things that the players have to say. Otherwise, how you gonna look your locker mate in the eye? Like people act like they don't have coworkers. Like
Like
people
to the
act like they
public,
don't,
to the public.
exactly
It,
to the public, exactly. Yeah,
I don't know if inside if they're having those same conversations, but publicly, yeah, that's fine. I mean, I know. But I watched the game. I saw the injury. I was like, oh, that's an Achilles. He's out. And I saw
yeah. As soon
like
as I didn't even need to see a
very few
replay.
players were
So
like,
I mean,
the offensive line just kept it moving. I was like, dude,
yeah.
they don't like. I'm like, dude, this is really bad. So
The team is
yeah, there
very
was
weird
that.
because even the backup quarterback Dorian Thompson Robinson, even he got sacked a few times or fell down, and the offensive line didn't even pick him up. They didn't even and you saw players getting frustrated with him because he was throwing low on passes, um you know throwing too high on passes. So that
Yeah,
whole team is done. I mean, I like Stefanski. I'm a huge Stefanski fan, but I
I,
think it's ran its
I
course.
thought they were down last year, and then Flacco ended up, doing what
Yeah,
he did.
saving his job. Honestly, he saved
If
his job.
Winston does that, or the DTR kid does that, like I wouldn't be surprised. He's a good coach.
I
Um,
want to talk about.
yeah,
Oh, go ahead, sir.
I was gonna say what other game do you want to talk about next? Because I don't want to spend all much
Uh,
time bashing
yeah,
Deshaun Watson. I think everyone already does that enough.
I want to talk about Anthony Richardson.
Oh my
I think
god,
this thing is I think this thing is up. Like, um, I want to say this as nice as possible. Um, because I watched the
they
game.
won today. Keep this in mind. They won
Yeah,
today.
yeah, yeah. They beat Tyler Huntley and the Dolphins. But I watched the game, and I was watching. I watched about 4 games, and so we got to do something about this. I wanted to watch. I should be able to choose what games I want to watch. I wanted to watch the Green Bay Packers
You couldn't
and
watch the
the
Packers game and anything else.
yeah.
It was like
It was horrible. Well, you can watch it with the Vikings and the Lions, but that was the only game you could watch it with, and it was very frustrating. So just FYI, send an NFL ticket, NFL. You guys gotta do a better job. But Anthony Richardson is a bad quarterback, and I don't think he's gonna get better. Um, I, like his ceiling to me, like it's not even like like you watch Dylan Daniels, like his ceiling to me is like he doesn't like being compared to Lamar Jackson, but he's Lamar Jackson esque. Like I watch Anthony Richardson, I just see a quarterback that is doing the same thing
we
over and over again. He kind of looks like a Jameis Winston in a way, like when Jameis
can
Winston.
you I think with you got to be patient with Anthony Richardson.
I don't know, man,
That's
because
what I
he's doing the
he
same thing over and over and over again. It's and the Colts are 4-3, by the way. The Colts are, they're about to be I think they're one game away from first place in the division, so they're not a bad team.
they're in the if the season ended today, he'd be a playoff quarterback. Okay, they're in the playoffs right now.
Yeah, but I
Okay,
like and he has to learn how to slide, how to get out of bounds, how to dive on the ground. Like he has to learn. I get it. I get it. Part of your prototype as a quarterback is you're a big body and you can take the hits, but you need to stay on the field to get better at quarterback. Like you don't get better at quarterback from watching from the sideline. You have to improve. And
I
obviously they
just think
won. Go ahead, because
I
I'm
jump in
about to
here
say
because you're
something.
going on a little
Yeah,
soliloquy here,
yeah,
but
right.
I just want to add, Joseph. I agree he's a bad quarterback right now, and I think he is a what's the phrase I want to use here? He's a product of today's society where, and I'm talking NFL, so he's a product of the NFL where we, if you are drafted in the first round, specifically the top, like we'll say 20 picks, you are the starting quarterback of your team, and you're there no matter what,
Yeah,
and you're going to either be a superstar right away, or you're going to be a bust. But as we see with players like Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, like these guys are good players. It's just they're maybe too young to start. I don't understand if you know Anthony Richardson has a deficiency right now throwing the ball, why not start Flacco and have him learn? Like I have no clue why they're not doing that. because the guy needs a lot of work. He
Yeah,
can take all the
I don't
practice reps he
disagree.
wants, but I mean, to start it, it's like Michael Pittman. I looked at him today, 3 catches, 63 yards. Like AD Mitchell, 2 catches, and then you got a bunch of guys with 1 catch, and I'm like, what are you doing? And then I look, and I'm like, oh, he
He was 10
completed
of
10
24.
passes.
14
Yeah,
carries.
and
He
I'm
had
like,
more carries than completion
that's his game. He wants to do. Like I looked in the once they get into the red zone, I remember.
they just run the
I don't
ball.
know if there's a highlight out there, but I remember Tim Tebow like nobody runs the ball down here but me. I was like, dude, that's hilarious. This guy's a quarterback, and he's yelling at his
Yeah.
coach to say this. He was on the Broncos when he said that, by the way. It wasn't college. And then if you watch him, it's like that's Anthony Richardson. He's Tim Tebow. He just wants to run the ball in the red zone. He will
That's a
not
good
pass the
comparison. I
ball.
like
Like
that.
if he, it's just. So I don't know. I'm with you. I think the experiment is over for him as a starter now. Like, and it's not just him. Look at Bryce Young. They had to pull Bryce Young a little bit this year. It's like the same thing. It's like all because you're the number one
Yeah.
pick doesn't mean that you're
Doesn't mean that you, yeah.
you're ready to go. Because all you're gonna do is lose credibility with your team. But
What do
that's
you
just
think
me. I
about,
don't know.
what do you think about
The best
this?
quarterback in the league set a year.
Yeah. What do you think about the, in Green Bay? Jordan Love, man. That dude
Another
makes some
guy who's
throws.
set.
That dude makes some throws. Like,
I I
I don't,
saw I saw a perfect picture of him today, Joseph, on Twitter. It was a picture of Brett Favre on one shoulder saying "throw it, throw it, throw it," and then it was Aaron Rodgers, "Don't throw it. You can't throw interceptions."
yeah, yeah. Like that pass, like his first touchdown pass. Granted, he has thrown an interception before that pass in a drive previously, but that throw he threw, um, where I think it was Petre came over and a ball went like through his hand, or like he had just missed the ball as he was like diving for it, and it was a touchdown. And the window that he was throwing through was like so small. Like I don't even know how he got. I don't even know how he got the ball past the line of scrimmage. Secondly, I don't know how he got the ball to the back of the end zone right there. Like Jordan Love
He's
makes some
elite.
throws that I don't even see Mahomes make those throws. Like I'm talking about just in the pocket window throws where it's just I haven't seen anyone make this type of throw since Brett Favre. He makes crazy throws and like I know Aaron Rodgers was his mentor, quote unquote, but he plays nothing like Aaron Rodgers. To your point, Zachary, like he's like that dude.
Well,
Well, okay, maybe old school Aaron Rodgers. Maybe Aaron Rodgers when he first got to started because Aaron Rodgers was slinger. He was a slinger, and then towards his later years he got a little more conservative. But this guy Jordan Love is amazing. I know you can probably go back to some podcast ago where I was like, hey, I don't think Jordan Love is that guy. Yeah, he's only played
well,
eight
remember
games.
I threw him in. I threw him in
Yeah,
top
yeah,
five, and
you
you're
did.
like,
Yeah, you did.
no, he's
Yeah,
not top five. I'm like, dude,
yeah.
the dude.
No,
The kid's
yeah,
legit.
he was it. Other side though, CJ Stroud. What are your thoughts on this guy? Because he's this. I've been saying it all season long. This Texas team is
You
not as
have.
good as people say they are. I just don't see it.
Do you think?
Yeah,
Serious question. Do you think it's that, or the fact that people they had such good juju last year, like good vibes? I think that's what the kids are saying these days. Great vibes around their locker room, and then you have a malcontent come in. I believe you're walking on eggshells. That's just me. But not only do you bring one malcontent in, you bring two. Yeah, I called Mixon malcontent too. So you bring two different
like
they're
me guys.
stars. Don't get me wrong, they're excellent players, but they're they want their touches, and they're going to let
Yeah.
you know they want their touches. And I think with I don't know, I just think they're finding themselves still. So I think Stroud has to figure out how to handle this, especially during the off season. That dude was around everywhere telling people he's the best quarterback in the league. Only person better than me is Patrick Mahomes. I'm like, dude, shut up, man. Like, you have a long career of front of you. Let's just focus on the next day. Why are you talking about the best in the league? Like, I've never even heard Mahomes say that kind of stuff. But hey, so yeah, that's my thoughts on CJ Stroud. He just needs to cool it down. Okay, new addition here. Like, and I'm confident they'll figure it out. I think that's where we differ. You think he's going to have a rough season all year?
I mean, I like CJ Stroud. I do. I like his play style. I love that he's confident in himself because you need that as a quarterback. I mean, if you don't believe in yourself, no one's gonna believe in you, right? I think that's one of I think that's one of the blockers that Bryce Young has. Like he's not confident in his ability as a quarterback because you can just see it. I know Bryce Young talks about God and believing in himself and whatnot, but your actions speak louder than words, right? And Stroud, he really believes that he is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. But when I'm just
Hmm.
looking at his game, he is not at the same place he was at last year. And I'm just gonna read off his quarterback rating. Last year his quarterback rating was 100%, throughout the whole season. This year, so far throughout the season, it's 95%. He already has he already has almost matched his interception numbers, right? Last year he threw 5 interceptions. This year he already has four. He, and he had one of his worst games against the Vikings defense. He had one of his worst games against the Packers today. So, and then on the other hand, I'm going to bring this up, when he told Caleb Williams, "Hey, stop taking those sits," or he was trying to game him up, I think that I think that got a lot of people, especially defensive players in the locker room, like, "Hey, like, who does this guy think he is? Like, this dude just came in the league over here acting like he like already made it, like all because he made it to one playoff. Like, no, you gotta do this over and over again." And ever since that game, exactly, I'm looking at his stats. They're good, but they're not as good as they were previously. Obviously, he's had more numbers, but his completion ratings are down. He's also thrown a lot of turnovers. He's thrown a lot of interceptions since that game, and he got a lot of criticism. Not criticism, but he got a lot of questions, regarding that question, in terms of Caleb Williams and C.J. Stroud. And I just see that this guy Stroud is not at the level where I would want him at for a team that is a Super Bowl contending team. Right? I don't think this team is a Super Bowl contending
Where do
team.
you we talk about how bad like guys like Anthony Richardson are, and he's been in the playoffs. Like,
He's
who do
above, yeah,
you?
yeah.
I mean,
Like,
the
like,
AFC, like outside of
yeah.
Mahomes,
I'm gonna
like
give you
who?
a good
Where do you
example.
rank them?
Yeah. You
Like,
know,
yeah, I
you
think
know
that'd be
how
fair.
you know how Nick Wright, shout out to Nick Wright, how his Mahomes matter, right? I love that thing, by the way. That's probably the best segment on the TV show. I would put CJ Stroud in the tier below, like a guy. I wouldn't put him in the same tier as Jordan Love or Baker Mayfield. Like I just wouldn't.
So, but I'm asking about AFC only.
Oh, AFC. I would say AFC. I got to think about it because we have. I would say Mahomes is by himself. Jackson and Allen are right below Mahomes. Who else? I would say Joe Burrow. Sorry, couldn't think of his name. Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow. We're going to talk about Burrow because
I would put
go
I,
ahead. I'll continue
I
the
would I
list.
would
Continue
put
with the
Joe
list though.
Burrow. I would put Joe Burrow to see this Stroud. I just would. I would take him over CJ Stroud. Um, but I guess just to kind of make it short, I would say those four quarterbacks I probably take over CJ Stroud right now at the moment. I mean, I still got to think of some other ones, but yeah, I just feel like CJ Stroud is, to me, he hasn't improved from last year, and I think that's a problem for me. It looks like he's regressed to me so far.
So, what about the regression? What about the man Joe Burrow?
Oh, Joe Burrow, I think the Bengals are hard to criticize because they always start off slow. Ever since Joe Burrow's gotten there, they start off slow and then they finish strong. So I can't really fully say something about Burrow, negative or positive, until the season is. I would say week 13, week 14, because I don't know where they're gonna be at. They could be 5-4 in in
I can tell
in
you where they're
in,
going to
in
be
three
at.
weeks.
They'll be home, but I mean that's just he. I guess he gets a pass, and I don't understand it. Because C.J. Stroud is winning more games than Burrow, and we're like criticizing
Okay,
him and
okay.
praising Burrow.
Let's do this. Let's put Burrow and CJ Stroud on the same boat. I don't mind doing that. I don't think that. I don't think
Yeah,
that
but you
they.
see what I'm saying? One guy's
I don't
five
think
and what is he,
either.
5-2?
But look at who they.
If
I mean,
the object is to win the game, it's they're 5-2, and then the Bengals are 3-4.
I just don't see
It just doesn't make
this.
sense.
I don't see the team saying, "Oh, this team's gonna be a Super Bowl team." I don't see that. I don't see that.
But
I don't see it from the Bengals either. No, I
but the
don't. No,
Bengals
I do not
are
see it from the Bengals either. No, I do not see it from the Bengals either. I just don't see this Texans team as
okay.
Super
I
Bowl
just want the
champions.
same energy.
I don't see the Bengals either. I'm not comparing Burrow. I'm not saying that. I'm not comparing Burrow to Stroud. I would take
Because
Burrow over Stroud. I
the
would
wins you're
right
talking
now.
about you're talking about their wins. They beat the Browns without their starting quarterback. Deshaun got hurt. They beat Daniel Jones, and they beat, I don't know if it was Purdy or Dalton, or not the Purdy. I don't know if it was Bryce Young or Dalton when they played the Panthers. Like those are their wins: Panthers, Giants,
I could do the
and
same thing.
the
I could do the same
Browns.
thing for the Texans. Texans week one they beat the Colts.
Yeah,
Week
yeah.
two they beat I would say a very young and very bad Bears team who are not the same Bears team as they were in week two. Week three they lost to the Vikings. They got destroyed. Lost by like 30 points. Week four they almost lost to the Jaguars. It wasn't for that last drive,
Overcoming
that finish drive.
almost.
Bills they should
Oh,
have
I
they should
forgot.
Bills
I
Bills
forgot. Almost and shouldas. I forgot about that.
Bills Bills
Let me
they
see
should
how.
have.
Wait, can I ask you a question? On your standings, like where does it show like the woulda or shouldas? Because mine only shows wins and losses.
All right, we got 5 minutes before the kickoff, so let's go ahead and finish this up. Lions and Vikings. This is probably one of the better games
Most
of
entertaining
the.
game.
Yeah. I had this game in one of my boxes. I was watching it, and it was a great game. From the first
Vikings
play
are for real.
to the last play.
I'm more
I'm gonna say
impressed with
this.
the Vikings than I am with the
Brian
Lions.
Brian Branch. I think Brian Branch might be the best defensive player in the league right now. He reminds me of like Ed Reed and like
The
Brian Dawkins.
superlatives. The superlatives that this guy comes up with.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, I'm just talking. I'm just podcasting right now. But I
I
really do think
know.
he's one of the best defensive players in the league for sure. Like this dude's elite. Like he's only 22. I was like, this guy going. I was like, what was the guy out of Alabama 2 years ago? But yeah, man, I agree with your saying sentiment. I am more impressed with the Vikings. Vikings shouldn't have lost that game. They, but the Lions show like they're the number one team in that division right now. You have any hard thoughts on this, by chance, or are you just gonna go to another
Say that
game?
again?
You have any hard hard thoughts on this one, or can we skip it?
Hard
Because I want to talk
thoughts?
about one more team before the.
No, I just think they're a really good team. That's it. And the Vikings, I'm really impressed with them. Flores, I think, should get a head coaching job after this because his defense is really great. I know the Lions ended up doing a whole bunch of stuff to him, but Jared Goff's playing at MVP level. So, I mean, there's no stopping that man.
Last thing we'll talk about. I guess we can talk about other things, but just last long, I guess, lengthy one. The Raiders. Um, the 2-5, 1-3. People are calling for Antonio Pierce to be fired after he got hired. This team,
I called that. I called that
this
last year, so
team,
that was a
this
dumb pick.
team,
But you know what? It was actually
this
good.
team is bad. This team is bad. Where do you see? Because I mean, I think this is an important thing for us to
Close
talk
your
about
eyes.
because
Close your eyes, Joseph.
let me see. Let me close my eyes.
And close your eyes and envision starting quarterback Shedeur Sanders and head coach his daddy, Coach Prime.
Wow, wow, that would be crazy.
Like,
I'd be
imagine
circus.
that sideline, Joseph. You have all those, all those historically great players for the Raiders. Heck, probably non-Raiders will show up on the sidelines and watch those guys. Like, it's no,
I'm
take
sorry,
your show to Vegas,
Shedeur Sanders.
Dion. Go ahead. Yeah, I think they're going to draft Shador, and then his daddy's going to be the coach. That's my
I,
prediction.
wow.
Because
That's a shocking one.
yeah.
I mean, they need a
Because
quarterback.
if you fire Antonio
This
Pierce,
team is bad.
the optics. You gotta hire somebody that looks like Antonio Pierce if you fire him this early. So
I just think Antonio Pierce is crashing out right now. As the kids say, that's what the kids say right now. Crashing out. That's like a new term.
Mm,
And
he doesn't know what he's
he doesn't
doing.
know. Yeah, it's like that's what crashing out means. Like
Like it's
you don't
not.
know what you're doing. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, but
Because
yeah, I get
he
what you're
has no
saying.
clue, man. And I called it last year. Okay, I'm going back to last year. He just doesn't have the experience that other coaches have. I'm not saying he won't be a good head coach later on. And even with the Raiders, if he's coaching for the Raiders 2, 3 years down the road, but this isn't the best Antonio Pierce we're gonna get, only because he's learning on the job. So if they keep him for a couple of years, I'm sure he'll be better than he is now. But everything is like, he's do I go for it? Do I do this? That's the first time. A player demands a
Well,
trade. This is his first time.
today,
Like
today,
he's dealing with all
it
this
was
stuff.
it was fourth and goal at the 9 yard line. It's 12-20,
Yeah.
and he kicks a field
Yeah.
goal with 2 minutes left.
Well, before that, they were going to go for it. It
Well, and
was
they
like
got a false
fourth and
start. Yeah,
four, and then they had the
yeah.
false start. And the guy on the
But
TV's like, "Oh, they should go for. They should kick the field goal now. This is too far." And I'm like, "You're down 8.
hey,
Go
yeah,
for it. If you
Fickle's
don't
not gonna
get
do
it, you
anything.
get the
You're still gonna need a touchdown.
a punt. You're in the same position. You're literally in the
Yeah,
same position. Like
I think you're in a worse
they're
position
they're
because
going to
you
be
don't
on
know
their
if you gotta
side of
get
the
down to
field.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
because
mean,
they got they ended up getting the ball back, but it was terrible field position because they
yeah.
ended up having to kick it off, and they
It was
get the
like,
ball
and
at the
it
30
was like
yard line.
40,
Whereas if you
yeah, like
punt the
yeah.
ball, or if you would have gone for it, they would have been backed in on in their own territory.
Yeah, and you still need a
So
2 point conversion and a touchdown. I guess you don't need it with the field goal, but you still need to score a touchdown
you
at the end of
still
the day.
need to score a touchdown and do something else.
Yeah.
So I just didn't
So
understand that. I would have gone for it, but
I like he's tanking for Shador. I mean,
huh?
because I like he's taking from Shador. Because even after the false start, I'm like, okay, offense is still they're gonna go for it, and then this thing comes in. I'm like, what in the world? Like it just. It, All right, last thing we'll talk about because we got about a minute left here. Quick thoughts on
Yeah,
the Panther situation. What are your quick thoughts? Give me 30 second rant or
the
thoughts
Panther
on the
situation.
Panther situation. What do you
Oh,
think they should do?
it's not. I don't think anyone's to blame but the owner. I'm not gonna lie to you. The owner and the GM, like the players suck. Like I said, suck. I know you're not supposed to say grown men suck, but I texted some friends today. I said they should ask the Pac-12 if they can join the Pac-12 next year because they suck. Like they're absolutely like the Redskins. They did whatever they wanted to. They wanted to run the ball. They wanted to run the ball. Mariota wanted to drop
Commanders.
back and pass and go this way and then go this way. He did it. They made Mariota look like Peyton Manning today. Mariota's never done that before in his life. He's never looked like Peyton Manning a day in his life. And in his 20th year, he finally does it.
Yeah,
They are awful. Like just god awful. Like who are these players? I don't know who you are. I'm sorry. Like the Panthers fans, you guys should stop going to the games. Boycott
yeah.
because there's nothing they can do. It's at least I know they hated on Dan Snyder when he was when he was the owner of the Redskins, but at least they put out competitive teams. Like this is
Yeah, that
awful.
makes
These
sense.
guys
Yeah,
are bad.
I don't
They're
know.
bad.
We gotta do some more research on this, like how many wins they have won since the new owner
You have 20
has owned the
seconds.
team. But it's pretty bad. All right, guys. Well, we'll talk to you guys next time. Please like, subscribe, tune into the next episode. Thank you for tuning in. As always, thank you for subscribing. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. We'll see you guys next time. Bye. Thanks, Zach.